How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now, I know it's been quite a while since you guys have heard my voice last. I've currently just been away for a week in the mountains of South Africa, enjoying some relaxation and preparing myself for the start of this Fantasy Premier League season. Obviously not preparing enough as the game did launch while I was away. So this is kind of my first general impressions. I basically made my team about an hour ago, so I've really got a fresh thought in mind about my opinions on this season. So hopefully this can be quite profitable for you guys, and I hope you enjoy listening to my views. Now, this video is going to cover some of the price changes and some of the general impressions I have on the game for this season, as this is a very general impression, as I said, as I currently have only seen some draft teams over on Twitter and I've only accessed the game about an hour ago. So let's get right into it. First thing I wanted to say is that the transfer market did only open yesterday. This is for non-English teams, as I think the Premier League and Championship opened about on the 16th of May, around there. But most of the big signings are probably only going to be done from now till the start of game week 1. So players like Hazard we have seen departing, and Pulisic is coming in. However, that transfer was done quite a long time ago, but he still has not been added to the FPL website. So maybe the Fantasy Premier League team is going to add all these new players in one batch towards the end of the season, but I think they're going to rather add him quite soon, and hopefully most of the transferred in players will be added soon towards the game week 1 deadline. Going to be interesting to see where Pulisic comes in, as has been openly stated that Chelsea players are quite cheap. Cheap in terms of if you think they're going to be worth it, but I think the maximum player is about 7 mil, so you can probably get Pulisic for around the same price, which might be a good bargain. We're going to talk a little bit about the prices later on. I just wanted to state that the transfer market is only basically open now, so we still have a lot of time to kind of make teams and see which players are coming in and out, and you never know, maybe there is an Mbappe to Liverpool, but I'm just putting that out there. It's a little bit of a joke. I don't think he will be transferring to Liverpool, but there could be some other big signings, and we don't really want to make teams yet and kind of base our teams around players we don't know who are going to be coming in. So I've got high hopes for maybe some fresh new players to come in and spice things up into this FPL upcoming season. So just some general impressions after having looked at the players and kind of mashed around with a couple of options. There are loads of expensive players, and it's going to be a struggle to fit them all in. I'm talking about the likes of the Salahs, the Manes, the Kanes, and those type of players, especially the Man City duo of Aguero and Sterling. And with the defenders that we all want being risen in price, I can see a lot of difficulty fitting all of these guys in, so we're probably going to have to make some compromises and opt for one or two of them. Basically, if you want a player, he's probably going to have risen in price, so that's going to kind of cause a lot of difficulties, but we'll get through it. I mean, everyone has the same budget and everyone has the same players to pick, so it's going to be a kind of open playing field, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing the different combinations. There has been a template already forming. I have looked over some Twitter drafts very briefly. As I said, I came back recently, so in a lot of teams I kind of see the same players. It's the likes of a double Liverpool defense with Digne from Everton, and then the likes of Salah and Sterling with Wilson or King and Jimenez up front. So that's quite a good team to start with. I do, however, think that there will be a kind of shift from those players, maybe with the likes of Sterling and Salah probably fitting in, and then the likes of the defenders and attackers maybe changing. But there is a template already forming, and I just wanted to give you a reminder that although there could be a template about the FPL community over here on YouTube and Twitter, that is not the same for the entire player base. There's going to be a lot more players that are going to be kind of going for players like Kante, you know, the usual 20% ownership at the start of the season, and those kind of players. So don't worry too much about having a team that looks very similar to other people. And the thing is, if it's a good team, you're going to score points. So who cares if it's the same as another 100 people? That'll be the top 100 come the end of the season maybe. So just stay cautious about this template, and don't be too worried about it. Then the other thing I want to let you guys know is that there are 38 days from the time of recording this video till the game week 1 deadline. That is over a month's time. I know everyone is very hyped about the start of this season, and there's been lots of videos out of drafts and everything, but there are more than a month. There's more than a month left till the start of the season, and a lot can change till then. So I hope you guys are hyped for the start of the season, and I hope you're watching this video and this is getting you even more hyped. But I just want to give you guys a little bit of caution that there is a lot of time still left. So I appreciate the need for videos, and you guys want information, but just put take the foot off the pedal a little bit. I know we're crashing in at 200 kilometers per hour into game week 1, but we still got a long journey ahead of us, and I hope you guys are looking forward to a lot more content, hopefully helping you if you're a new player or a returning veteran. Hopefully I can give you some tips and advice to help you finish as high in the ranks as possible. That being said, with the draft videos, I'll be creating a draft later on in the week, but I can't promise you a lot of draft videos from now till the end of the season. I just feel that I'm the sort of player that once I have a team, I'm going to stick to it, and I don't feel it's fair to the viewers if I make another 10-minute video every week changing 1 or 2 players. I don't want to waste your guys' time, but put it down in the comments if you want me to do that, even if it is 1 or 2 changes, if you guys want me to kind of take you through step by step, or if you just want a kind of beginning draft video and then a game week 1 preview video. So just let me know, and let me know any other suggestions that you guys want me to cover. As you can hear in my voice, it's a little bit raspy. I have been sick the past couple of days, so I apologize if my voice isn't up to scratch as usual, so just apologies there for that. So we're going to get into price rises of notable players. I've kind of put 6 players here that I'm keeping my eyes on. I'll talk about a little bit of combinations between them and a little bit of variations between the players, as I have not listed every player here that has had a price rise. So the first player is Laporte. He comes in at 1 million more than he was last season. The most notable Man City defender, in my opinion. You can go for Edison as well, but Laporte does offer that attacking threat. We saw that especially towards the end of last season, how Man City weren't keeping many clean sheets, but he was getting those attacking returns. A little bit unusual for a centre-back to be getting assists, but he was getting them with the way Man City kind of play, with a high pressing centre-back who can offer those assists to those long-range shots. So Laporte comes in at 1 more extra. I think that is perfectly viable. He was a very good player last season, so keeping my eye on him and potentially coming into my team. Then I've gone for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Basically, the whole of the Liverpool defense is at price rises, but Trent Alexander-Arnold has had the most notable one of £2 million of increase. Definitely worth it. The only worry I have with him is the rotation with him and Gomez come the beginning of the season. I do think that Matip has cemented that centre-back spot, so that right-back position could be a little bit of substitution there between him and Gomez, but his attacking threat is seen by everyone, and I don't think anyone doubts it. He's an amazing crosser of the ball and can offer loads of assists, so definitely keeping my eye on him. However, I do have my bias towards Robertson. I just think that he's a bit more rotation proof, so he had a little bit of a price increase as well, but not as much as the 2 million. Then we have Sadio Mane, who also comes in at 2 million. A lot of Liverpool players and Man City players haven't risen in price due to the good season last season. He comes in 2 million, a million under Salah if I do recall, so you could make some saving there if you opt for the Senegalese winger. He could offer some amazing returns like he did last season. I however think that it might not be as good as last season, as he did have a stellar season. He could score loads of goals. He doesn't score that many assists, but I do have high hopes for him. and his teammate Salah. There's kind of not in it that much for me between the two of them, so you can kind of opt for any of them. But most people are leaning a little bit towards Salah. Then we have Fraser coming in as 2 million more as well. Had a great season of assists last season. I don't think that I'll be opting for him that much this season, maybe towards the end of the season, but he is quite expensive, and those midfield spots are quite worth a lot, and most of the big hitters are going to be putting a lot of money into the midfield, so I don't know if Fraser's going to fit right into my team, but he might fit into yours. Then we have Raheem Sterling with another 1 million added to his price tag. Worth it in my opinion. It's basically between him and Aguero coming in at the same price. You could opt for either. Sterling offers that little bit more of an assist threat, but we could see maybe a shift towards Aguero come the beginning of the season. But Aguero is kind of getting a little bit older, but I do think he will do well. Sterling is just a little bit more favored in my opinion. Then we have Jimenez coming in at another 2 million. I don't think anyone doubts his worth after last season. Him and Jota are kind of the two that have been moved up to that forward position for Wolves, so you could opt for either of them. Jota seemed to have a better end to the season, whereas Jimenez had a better start. You could opt for either. I've just put Jimenez on here as he's the one who had the price rise. Jota stayed the same. I've seen a lot of teams with Jimenez up front, and I can see why. I hope that he has a great season ahead of him, and I think that Wolves will as well. Now we're going to go on to the more negative side of it, and we're going to be talking about the notable price drops. There are a lot of players that have had a 500,000 price drop, but I'm only going to be talking about a couple of them who might be favored in your teams. First up is Salah. A minuscule price drop of 0.5 million considering he was 13 million last season. He comes in at 12.5 this season, and he looks like a set starter in most people's teams. He's probably going to be one of the most popular players come the start of game week 1. I'm not too unhappy with the 0.5 price drop. I don't think it's too deserved, but I'm not going to be arguing it as he does come in cheaper for us. So a little bit of a bonus there. I think that Salah's going to be a great player this season, and just picking between him and Mane is going to be a little bit tough. We have Kane coming in at 1.5 million cheaper. Obviously, he had that injury last season and didn't have that great season at all, but he is quite tempting. Harry Kane in the Premier League is always prolific, so you could be looking at him at that 11 mil mark. However, it is quite a tough mark to come in as Aubameyang and Aguero are at the same price. Could be a little bit of a differential, as I don't think many people are going to be opting for Kane, but he could have a great season, and that 1.5 million reduction could be well welcomed. Then we're going to have Sanchez, the biggest price drop, 3.5 million. He comes in at around 7 million if I do recall. I'm not going to be opting for him at all probably, but it could be a major differential for you if you're looking at him. He's currently playing the Copa America, has scored a couple goals there with Chile, so maybe returning to form, but I think he's looking a shadow of himself, the man at Arsenal who was the triple captain on the double game week, who scored you millions of points, but we're looking at it from this season point of view, and I don't think he's going to be in many teams. Then we have Trippier and Luiz. Basically, both the defenses from Spurs and Chelsea have come in at a 0.5 reduction. You could opt for them. I don't think I'm going to be looking at them too much. Maybe more on the season as we go, I'll be bringing them in. But it's kind of looking like a Liverpool Man City defense with some cheaper alternatives. I just think that the Spurs and Chelsea defense are maybe a little bit too expensive for what they offer, but they could have had great seasons ahead of them, and maybe you are looking at bringing them in. Now I just want to give you some tips towards the end of this video of when creating drafts. These are very basic tips, and if you want more of them, please comment down below and I'll do a draft creation tips video for you. The first tip is you have to select your set starters, whether it be your Salahs, your Sterlings, and have them in your teams. Those are going to be players that you don't transfer out. You're going to be having them in your team, and you're going to be varying the players around them, but they'll always be your consistents. Then you're going to vary formations and vary budget between the positions. This basically allows you to maybe have a 5 at the back. I know it's the elusive 5 at the back. Everyone talks about having it, but come the start of the season, everyone is back to 3 at the back. But vary your budget between your forwards and your midfields, and kind of find a variation that pleases you. You could have more money in your forwards. A lot of people are kind of opting for a budget attacking front and stacking the money in midfield, but you could vary it. This is your own draft and it's not finalized. Come the start of the season in a month, you could have a completely different team, so don't worry too much. I've also just put the starting fixtures up on the right side of the video. So just to give you guys a reminder of the teams that are playing and who's going to be your kind of game week 1 captain. So that's going to basically wrap up the video. Please follow me on Twitter and reach out to me and give me your suggestions over there at Dayvy FPL. I'm very active on it now, coming back from my relaxation of the holidays, and I'll be very active talking to you guys and kind of keeping you updated. I hope you've enjoyed this little quick video. As I said, I'll be creating my first draft video later on in the week, probably around Thursday. So don't forget to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and please comment down below if you are reaching out and asking me any questions or maybe suggestions for the coming game weeks. And please subscribe if you're new or a returning player who's been watching my videos for a little bit. I would really appreciate the subscribe. It kind of supports the channel a little bit. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be signing out. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.